Good morning, friends. It's Carrie from Stretch Chi. It is what day? Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Tuesday morning. Um, it's a rainy day here in Chicago, and I have to tell you guys, I um, I had quite an epiphany yesterday about myself and just like my spiritual path. Like I just really something just hit me square in the face yesterday, which was pretty profound for me. Doesn't matter what that is, but I just have to let you know that I woke up this morning feeling like today's class really uh, like inevitably was going to focus on heart opening. And then I pulled this card, which is Camel Pose, which is a huge heart opener. And I was like, okay, we'll get it. Sure. So this is what we're doing today. Now, I feel like today's class is going to be a little bit more emotional and spiritual based than physical stretching based, although we, of course, are going to stretch, but we'll stretch more with the intention of clearing out um, past energy, emotional baggage, um, just really opening our hearts up. And I know that that's not going to resonate with everybody. So I just want to put that out there in the beginning that if this is not your class today, that's quite okay. Like you are perfectly welcome to go to my channel, and I have plenty of other classes, and I film these classes 6 days a week. There's got to be a class you haven't done, right? So if you feel like this is maybe not where you want to be today, if you're like, but I just want my hamstring stretched, then go find another video, right? It's okay. But if you are in the same place as me today where you're just really feeling like an emotional cleansing sounds like a great idea. I mean, I'm in that place where like I feel like I could stand under a waterfall and just wash it all away. That's the way I feel today. So that's how we're going to stretch today. So anyway, that being said, let's go. If you are in class today, give me a little note in the chat. Let me know who's here. Let me know if there's anything specific you want to work on. Let me know how you feel about class. If and like I said, if this isn't your class, it's not your class. It's okay. Just so you know, come back tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be completely different tomorrow. Every class is a different experience. But we're going to really work on opening our chest, opening up, getting into that place where we can really open into that camel pose in whatever variation feels the best for you. And really thinking about like how our bodies hold on to emotional tension and how we can gently let that go through class, like muscle by muscle, one at a time. It's pretty awesome, actually, and it's very subtle. You're not going to be like curled up on the floor in a fetal position crying by the end of class, I don't think. But if that's the way you want class to work today, that's fine. You're in your house. You can do whatever you want. But the truth of it is, when you do Ki-Hara resistance stretching, the the process of releasing the tension is so subtle and so gentle and so safe for yourself that the emotional tensions just tend to let go as they happen. But I feel like it's a good place to start intention wise. All right. Any of you who are new to the channel, be sure you subscribe, click that little button in the corner so you don't miss any of my other classes. Also, you need to know a little bit about Ki-Hara before you get started. Main rules are move, resist, and don't do anything that hurts. If this is confusing for you, then check out some of my other videos. Like a live class might not be the way to start. Okay, there's plenty of other stuff on the site. For those of you who are returning, I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. My heart's exploding today with emotions. So I'm super excited to see you guys. Thank you all for your love and support. Thank you for those of you who are financially supporting the channel, because that helps so much. And of course, for all your likes and your shares and your comments, like you guys are fantastic. Tell your friends about Ki-Hara, okay? Okay, so let's get started. We usually when I pick out a pose, I just start flat out with that pose just to kind of see where our body is today. But for some reason, doing camel pose right off the bat just doesn't feel right to me. So let's start out actually with a downward dog pose just to kind of get our bodies warmed up, get some blood to our heads, and see if we can open our chest in this like more subtle way. So you're going to come onto all fours. Put your hands right under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and then let's just first start off with some cat-cow. Push through your feet, push through your hands. So it's like you're trying to spread your body apart, and slowly lift your spine up towards the ceiling. Find all that strength in your spine. And then reverse. So you're going to bring your belly towards the floor. Keep the resistance between your legs and your hands so that you can find this power in your body. Your spine is strong this whole time. There's tension, so you're always trying to pull your legs and your hands apart. It's like you're trying to separate your mat right from the middle. Find that strength in your spine. Find the roll. So we go here. This is called an anterior tilt when you go into a curve in your back. And then we posterior tilt. So you turn your tailbone under, you lift the top of your pelvis up, and find your spine closer towards the ceiling. You can let your head drop down if it feels good. And just go back and forth. And then we're going to add a little bit of extra movement. So instead of just going up and down here, what I want you to do is find your cat pose, not all the way up, just a nice strong spine, and push with your hands. Let your hands win and bring your face down towards the mat. You can look to your knees, see how that feels, and then use your legs to push you back forward. And you're just going to come up as far as your shoulders will go over your hands, and then push right back again. Remember to keep moving. You're also still resisting, so your hands are pushing into the mat. Your legs are trying to push you forward, and you just go back and forth. You can stay in this position, or you can come up to straight legs. And here in straight legs, I'm going to go up onto my toes to push my body forward. And then I'm going to use my hands to push me back to my heels, pushing my head through and looking at my feet to get a stretch through my chest and my calves. And see if you can find that one in the best way for you. Forward for strength, and then use your arms to push you back for your stretch. And find that stretch in your calves and in your chest if you can. It might just go to one spot, like you might just feel it in your calves. That's okay. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good, all right? Really honor your body, honor what it wants to do. Stop when it says stop, and come right back up. All right. Okay, my friends. Also, it needs to be said, I'm trying out a new microphone. I've been practicing with it for about a week now, and every once in a while it goes out and I can't figure out why. So if you guys are watching and my microphone gets a little fuzzy or scratchy, let me know in the chat right away and I'll turn it off and we'll go straight back to my computer microphone. But this one's nice because I don't have to scream into it. All right, let's go into a stretch for the back of your shoulders now. So bring your hands together, bring your thumbs over your head and just let them hover here. And then what you're going to do is try to squeeze your elbows together. And as you squeeze them together, you'll feel this stretch in the back of your shoulders. And then open up for strength. And you just go back and forth here, squeezing in. This is your stretch. You feel the back of your shoulders. You open up, you feel your shoulder blades come together. Now as you do this, you can kind of take stock of what you feel emotionally. You know, we have our physical pain, that's true, but we also have an emotional pain body. And sometimes that emotion is just like anger, frustration, sadness, right? Those kind of things. It could also be loneliness. I mean, some of us have been alone I've had like 3 conversations with human beings in 2 months, face to face. I've had plenty of conversations over the internet, but you know, face to face is a whole different beast. So, you know, there may be a little sadness, a little loneliness, a little bit of isolation, right? What are you feeling today? Put that emotion into the forefront. Feel how that emotion is related to this tension, whatever it is, and then let it go. I lit real candles today instead of my other candles that I usually have on our electric, but I felt like fire was good today. So just feel like as you go into the stretch, you just let all that extra stuff that doesn't need to be there anymore, just let it all burn away. It's like smoke. Just let it go. So feel that stretch. As I do that, I feel the stretch more. Do you guys? I mean, that's kind of cool, right? You feel like I feel more intensity in the stretch than I have in a long time, just by putting my awareness on the emotions related. Our ego, our ego mind and our pain body try to get us out of the feelings that that we don't want to feel. Like sometimes we just don't want to feel sad, or sometimes we don't want to feel lonely. That's okay, but our body protects us from that by giving us physical pain. Because when you're focused on physical pain, you don't have to focus on the emotional pain. Or it gives us something like an addiction or distraction, right? Sometimes it's just, oh gosh, like ego mindset, like you get into arguments in your head or something, it keeps you from feeling the pain. But when you put your awareness on the emotion, you'll feel the physical pain in a little bit of a different way, I think. So have some curiosity about that today. Let's see what happens, okay? Now bring your right arm into the side, and you're going to grab your wrist with your left hand on the top, and then resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart, so they're going to go out towards the side walls. You push up for strength, and then push down for your stretch. See if you can find that in the top of your shoulder. And then when you get to the bottom of the stretch, go ahead and bring your head over to the left so that you can find that stretch right here in the top of your neck. And you just go back and forth, okay? So up and down. And then as you're doing this, if you want to, you don't have to, see if you can just put a little bit of awareness on what emotion you're feeling now, because it might be different, right? It might be completely different. You've let go of something in the past stretch, so now what's left? Or what's showing up now? Feel that feeling. And then as you're stretching, choose to just gently let it go, right? You could be letting go of the resistance to the emotion. Like maybe you feel angry. You can continue feeling angry, but don't resist feeling angry. Great. And the same thing with whether you're feeling sad or whether you're feeling happy even, right? You don't have to have attachment to feeling happy either. You can just let it go. It's like, learning new lessons. It makes you feel, I don't know, like an inner richness when you can remove the layers of protection around you, right? And you're safe, you're in your house. There might be some other people around, but in general, like it's relatively safe in your home. So you can explore these options and see what happens, okay? Let's bring it's left arm. Let's bring your left arm in and grab your wrist with the other hand. And you're going to push up for strength and down for stretch. And again, just take some time to enjoy this stretch, to feel the stretch in the right way, and then to feel what's left. What's the emotion now that you feel? It might be different. It might be awesome. It might be something like not very big, like it's not a big deal, right? Maybe you're like, I don't feel anything on this stretch. It's okay. You don't have to, right? It's okay. And then when you get to the end of the stretch, bring your head over to the right to get a stretch through your neck and your shoulder. And you just go up and down. And just choose to let go of whatever it is, just like smoke in the air, just burns away. Whatever it is that's hanging out, whatever emotional baggage is stuck in this stretch. It's old, right? It doesn't need to be there anymore. You can let it go. Just see how that feels for you today, right? What feels good? What feels like you can let it go? What feels like it encourages or it enhances your inner richness, right? See if we can find that. Now we're going to go into our lat stretch. Let's do our lats this way. You're going to come onto your hands and knees. Bring your right arm across your mat to the left corner of your mat. So I'm crossing over. I'm going to pull with my right arm towards my right knee. And then find that resistance. And as you find the resistance, go ahead and sit back into the stretch. Then use your right arm to pull you back up. Find this stretch in the way that feels the best to you, right? Don't ever push into anything that doesn't feel good. Everything should feel good. It should feel like there's resistance. You're working, right? And you're moving, but you don't necessarily need to go into a place that feels painful or dangerous, right? And then as you go into the stretch, just put your awareness onto the emotional feeling that you have. It might be different now. See if there's anything that you've been harboring in this part of your body. Our muscles really hold emotions. And I know that's hard for people to say, but like if you're feeling sad or vulnerable, like if you're, you kind of like someone's hurt you, you close like this. These muscles get tight, okay? If you feel threatened in some way, like you kind of go into a fighting position. So your back gets tight, your shoulders get tight. There are things that happen in your body as a response to some sort of trigger, right? So sometimes our muscles hold on to that stuff longer than they need to. Sometimes we have emotional tension in our muscles that's been there for a very, very, very long time. And it's okay to let that go because you don't need it anymore. It's there to protect you for a certain amount of time, but sometimes it hangs out too long, okay? So let's work on like letting that go so that you can really like remove these layers. It's like just washing the dirt off, right? Like you're just like removing all of these layers of the onion until you can get to who your real self is. You find that like real inner strength, that inner reality, that shows who you really are. So let's take your left hand now across your mat to the right side. Try to pull towards your left leg. And as you pull down, find that stretch in the outside of your left body. And you just go up and down, finding the stretch right through here. Moving in the way that feels the best to you. Of course, don't go into anything that hurts. And if it feels good to you, put your awareness on what emotions you have now. What's left? What's still there? What can you do with those emotions? You have a couple choices, right? I mean, sometimes the choice is to let go, but sometimes the choice is to do something about it. Right? How do you feel right now? Is there something you can do about that? If you need to, pause the video and write something on a list. If you need to, pause the video, make a phone call. I don't care if you're, if there's something that you need to process, there's something you need to process, right? So do that thing so that you can let it go. If you release whatever it is that's holding you here, then by all means, that's way better than doing an hour-long stretching class, right? It's a fantastic thing. So do what you need to do. If there's a situation you need to get out of that situation. If there's something you need to do to change your situation, like if you need more padding to make you more comfortable, if you need a long sleeve shirt because you're cold, whatever, do that thing so that you can feel better, so that you can let go of whatever emotion it is that you're feeling. And sometimes it just means to let go. Sometimes it means to just accept that you have that emotion, to let go of the resistance of that emotion, or to completely choose to just let go and see what's hiding under the emotion, right? They're coming out. It's all coming out, my friends. It's what we're doing today. All right. So the next stretch we're going to do is for your quads. So we're going to go up to the wall and stretch out our quads here. I have to apologize, you guys. I am very allergy-ish. I'm going to the allergist tomorrow to get a big allergy test, with all the pins and stuff. We're going to come into a quad stretch here. So bring your right leg against the wall and come up into a lunge, okay? And then push with your right leg into the wall, push with your left leg forward, and then you're going to go back and forth. So you have to push forward here for strength using your back leg, and you push back for your stretch with your front leg, finding that stretch in your quad here. So yeah, I'm not allowed to take antihistamines for a week in the height of allergy season in Chicago. Forget it. I'm a mess. So I'm real itchy. So if you notice, I'm like scratching my nose. That's what it is. So now here we are in our quad stretch, right? You're moving back and forth. You're hopefully feeling your quad here. If this stretch doesn't feel good, you just stop doing it. It's okay. You don't have to, right? You can just get out of the stretch. You can come back to it later if you want. When we get into camel pose later, it's a pretty deep quad stretch. So as we open up some other things, it's going to get even more intense. But what I want you to focus on in this stretch now is, first off, just take note of what your pain body is telling you. Okay, so just your pain body, just the actual pain element. What do you feel? Does your foot hurt? Does your knee hurt? Does your quad hurt? Is it good? Is it a good stretch? Is it a bad stretch? Hopefully you guys know what that means by now if you've been taking my class. But if you don't, a good stretch would be a quad stretch. A bad stretch would be anything other than a quad stretch, right? It means that you don't need to be doing the stretch. But if the stretch is good, you go for it. So take note of your pain body. Then, once you know what your pain is or what you're feeling, what is that pain telling you? Like, what is this quad tension telling me? And it doesn't, quads don't really, like muscles don't talk to you like intellectually. Like they're not going to be like, I think maybe you need to work on this. No, it all happens emotionally. That's where you get this insight. So as you're feeling that bit of, I wouldn't call it pain, as you're feeling like the stretching discomfort, what is the emotion attached to that? Do you feel like it's something that you need to let go of? Do you feel like it's an emotion you need to accept? Is it something that's even rational for you? Like, do you feel, sometimes people feel like inadequate when they're doing stretches because they can't get their butt to the wall, right? Like, just because you can't touch your heel to your butt, like, I'm a horrible person and I'm never going to get, like, think of that. Like, is that emotion present in you? Is that a valid emotion? If it is, then keep it, but it's most likely not. If it's not, then let it go and see what's underneath. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's vulnerability, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's, I don't know, aggression, whatever it is, like feel that emotion and then dive a little deeper. What is the stretch telling you? Now let's switch sides. So bring your hands down, bring your front leg down, and then just switch to the left. So I'll put my left leg on the towel up against the wall. I'm going to swing my leg around to the front and come up into a lunge. And from here, oh, the cat's been sleeping on this towel. Now I've got cat hair all over my legs. I have an emotion about that. All right, so here I am in this lunge. Now I'm going to add resistance. I'm going to push my front leg towards the sidewall that way. Like I'm pushing, like I'm trying to shove my mat towards that wall. I'm pushing my back leg into the wall, and then I just go back and forth from there. So first step, what is your pain body telling you? Do you feel this good stretch? Do you feel pain in your knee? Do you feel pain in your foot? Is there something you can change to make this better? Like, could you put a towel under your foot? Do you need more padding for your knee? Do you need to move your knee further away from the wall? Do you need something to hold on to? You can change all of those things. If not, maybe you need to let go of the stretch. Just let it go. We'll come back to it later. You don't have to do it today. It's not a big deal. Okay? And then if you feel okay, if you feel this quad stretch, what is the tension in that quad stretch telling you? What is that emotion? What does it feel like? So just feel the emotion. You don't even have to put a name on it. You don't have to say like, I feel grumpy. Like you don't have to write that down. You just feel the feeling and decide, is this feeling serving me right now? Can I let it go? Okay, what can you do? Let that go. Maybe it's not needed. Oh, it's a good stretch. And into every stretch, you just let go a little bit more. It's like washing out a shampoo bottle, right? You just put more water in, empty it out. Put more water in, empty it out. Put more, every time you do it, there's a little less soap in the bottle, right? Until all that soap is gone. It's like, that's how your muscles work. Every time you go into the stretch, just a little bit more gets cleaned up. And every time you go back into the stretch, a little bit more gets cleaned up. And then bit by bit, you get like a cleaner bottle, right? You get a cleaner quad. That's what we're going for. All right, now bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your right leg down. And we're going to come back to our mats. Now I think, let's do some hamstring stretches on chairs today. That seems like a great idea. So grab a chair or a bench of some sort. You could do this on your couch, kitchen chair, whatever works, okay? Now we're going to work first on our medial hamstring. That's here on the inside. So bring your right leg up. These pants like to fall down. Hike them up. Okay, bring your right leg up so that your heel is on the chair here, and so that you can push down. I don't know if you guys can see my face. Let me just check this real quick. Yeah. There we go. Sorry about the move. Okay. This should look better. All right. So bring your foot to the chair. You're going to have your foot out at an angle. You could be about 45 degrees or even wider, whatever feels good to you. And then face forward. So your foot's going out to the right or the left, whichever way. Your body is facing straight ahead, and you're going to push your foot into the chair. So it's like you're trying to bring your heel down towards your other foot. So find that resistance. Bend at your hips, leaning forward into the stretch. You should feel it through here. And then use that leg to push you back up. I get to move my chair because it ran into the wall. Okay, so pushing your foot into the chair, bend at your hips, coming forward. And then use that leg to push you back up. Now, as you're moving in this stretch, just take a second. What does your pain body feel like? Is there anything uncomfortable in this stretch? Do you need to get out of this stretch? Do you need to change something? How could you make this stretch better? Could you make it better? Can you improve the situation? Could you do it by using a different size chair? Maybe putting a towel under your foot? Do you need something to hold on to? What would make this stretch better for you? And then let's listen to our emotions now. So as you're going into the stretch, how do you feel? What do you need to acknowledge about how this stretch works? As you come forward into the stretch, can you clean it up just a little bit more each time? Can you let go of a little bit more? You'll know what that means for you. And if you don't know what that means for you, just let your body do the work. You don't have to do the work. Okay? Just put your attention on the emotion. It's good. As you're doing this, you can think of it almost like it's your own heartbeat. Like we're working on our heart today, right? Find your own heartthrob, find your own heartbeat. And as you go up and down into the stretch, it's like it beats, it pulsates. There's a movement constantly. There's energy constantly. Every time it's like new blood pumping through your body. It's new blood in your muscles. It's new life. So find your own heartbeat, right? Find it here. Find it in your inner legs. Find it throughout your whole body. And as you let go of those emotions, as you stop feeling like something is, like the emotion is blocking you, right? Then you can really open yourself up to who you really are. You can open up to this like really deep inner richness of self. Oh, it's so good. Okay, let's bring that chair over to the other side, and we're going to do the other leg. So bring your other leg up. Oh my gosh, covered in cat hair now. Sorry. All right. Suri's the cat, if you don't know. She's sleeping. Take your other leg out to the side. Push your heel down into the chair. And then as you push into the chair, you're just going to lean forward, finding the stretch in your inner thigh. And then use your leg to push you back up so that you can come out of the stretch. All right? So you just go back and forth, down and up. Check in with your pain body. Can you make this stretch feel better for you? Do you need to get out of this stretch? Can you improve it? Or do you just need to abandon it altogether? Just check in. And then second step, check in with your emotion. What does that emotion feel like to you? Really sit with it for a second. Maybe 2 or 3 repetitions of the stretch. Just feel the emotion. And then make a decision. Maybe every time you go into the stretch, you just let go of that emotion just a little bit. Every time you just clean it up a little bit more. Or even if there's something you need to say, there's something you need to say to somebody in a nice way, you could call them and tell them. Right now, you could put this on pause and call your best friend and tell them you miss them. Whatever you need to do, right? You can do it right now. Or say it out loud to yourself, right? Just whatever you need to say, just let it go. And then as you start to let that go, start to feel how it's your own heartbeat, your inner pulse, the way your body moves, the speed you move at, the way that it works. You find your own heart throb. You find your own beat. Feel it in yourself, in your own body, okay? All right, put your chair to the side. We're going to use it again soon, but for right now, just put it to the side and go ahead and have a seat. We're going to go into a butterfly stretch here, so you're going to bring your feet together. Put your elbows on your knees, and you'll squeeze in with your legs while you push open with your arms. As you push open, you're going to come into your stretch. So make sure you're still resisting. You always want to resist and stretch. And then squeeze in. This is your strength motion. And as you open up, you get your stretch, right? Check in with your pain body. Do you feel okay? Do you need to improve this stretch in some way? Do you need to get out of this stretch, right? Is there an emotion attached to this stretch? What does it feel like to you? What does your heart feel like right now? Can you find it? Can you find that emotion? Can you just find the feeling? You don't even have to put a name on it. Just find the feeling. And then every time you go into the stretch, just wash it away just a little bit. Wash away the attachment to that feeling, right? You don't have to wash away any situation, right? Sometimes people are like, I don't want to let go of this, this person, or maybe you're grieving something, or maybe you had a relationship not work out, or maybe there's a job situation, or, whatever it is. Like you could be like, well, I don't want to let go of that. That's okay. You can let go of the emotion, right? You can let go of the fear of being isolated. You can let go of the fear of not having your job. Like you don't have to let go of the idea of your job, but you can let go of the fear, right? Just for right now. And it doesn't have to be 100%. It could be that you just let go of this fear like 3% right now. I'm just going to choose as I go into the stretch to let go 3% of sadness or 3% of anger. Just a little bit each time. It feels kind of nice to let it go, right? It feels kind of nice. And as you go into the stretch, just find your own beat. Find your own heartbeat. Find the way your body moves. It's your own, right? It's your own beat. You move to your own beat. You move to the way your heart beats. Oh, which is yours and only yours, right? How cool is that? Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is for your outer hamstring. Let's use our chair again for this one. So go ahead and stand up and grab your chair. This stretch is going to get the outer part of your hamstring here. So you're actually going to bring your leg across your body. So if you're standing straight, your leg will go, this is the left leg, your leg will go to the right, okay? So have a stand in front of that chair. Bring your leg to the opposite corner of the chair. And then this is let's say, it's all confusing with legs. This is my right leg, okay? So if my right leg's in the front, I'm going to turn my hips towards that leg. So I'm going to turn my hips towards my right. So I'm turning to face like this doorway. My foot is facing that way, like away from the doorway. So there's like a diagonal, an X pattern happening. Push your foot into the chair like you're trying to drag it down. And then you're just going to fold forward into the stretch. Oh boy. You can tell this one, apparently I have stuff to work through in this one because I could barely even tell you guys how to do the stretch. That's the truth. All right, so as you're going up and down in the stretch, take a second, check in with your pain body. What's going on? Is there a way to make this stretch better for you? Are you twisted too much? Do you need to put something under your foot? Do you need a smaller chair? Can you do this on your couch instead? Are you getting a deep enough stretch? Like, what do you need to do to change the stretch? And then as you're going in and out of the stretch, pay attention to the emotion that's coming up. What are you feeling? And as you recognize that feeling every time you go into the stretch, think of it like your heartbeat, right? Every time your heart beats, new blood gets shoved into your body, right? Old blood gets sucked in, cleaned up, shoved back out, right? Your heart doesn't clean it up, but you know what I mean. It's a kidney process. The body is a complicated beast. But think of it this way. As you push into the stretch, you're freeing the blood flow through your body. You're allowing your heart to beat in its own way, at its own pulse, its own heart throb. You are your own heart throb. Oh, and just let that go. It's so good. And every time, whatever the emotion is, just let go a little bit more. Just wash that bottle out just a little bit more. Take that layer, one more layer off an onion, right? whatever it is. Each time you go into the stretch, just let go a little bit more. Okay, let's do the other side. So now, standing up straight, facing my chair, I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to put it on the right corner of my chair. I'm going to turn my hips to the left. Okay, check in with your pain body right now before you even start. How does this feel? Do you need to adjust something? Have you gone too far? Is your twist too big? Are you feeling unstable? Do you need to hold on to something? Do you need to change your chair? What do you need to do to make this stretch feel better for you? Now push your left leg into the chair, like you're trying to down the other leg. And as you do that, resist here. Go ahead and forward and stretch. Do another check in your body. When does your body sit up? How does that feel? Do you notice anything about the stretch that feels different or strange to you as you go into it? It's funny because as soon as I went into the stretch, I started to feel dizzy and my breathing got a little rougher. I've been struggling with breathing issues lately. So it's kind of fascinating that's happening. Part of the reason why I'm going to the allergist this week. It's probably Surrey. It'd be the worst. Anyway, so how's that for all my emotions all in one stretch? So you check in with your pain body. What does it mean? What is it saying to you? What is it telling you? And then what is the emotion involved with it? Oh, thanks, Chad. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm going to fix the mic.
All right. Oh, now it's better after I just turned it off. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear me now. So hopefully that's all good. So we'll see. Give me another thumbs up, Chad. Let me know how it's going. Thank you for being the mic guy. I have a sound guy. He comes to class all the time. Thanks, Chad. So as you're going into the stretch, you can check in with your emotional body. Make sure that you feel confident, that you feel comfortable. And then let go. Let go one by one. Let go of your frustration over the microphone. Oh, the microphone. Oh, the microphone. All right, now since we're going to work on camel pose today, and it's very quad dominant stretch, let's go back to our quad stretch on the wall. And then, all right, thanks, Chad. You're the best. All right, go back to your quad stretch on the wall and let's see if we can get even more release through this stretch, okay? So on all fours, take your right leg and drop it against the wall so that your knee is close to the wall, and then bring your left leg to the front and come up into a lunge. Find the way that feels the best to you and then push in opposite directions. Check in with your pain body right away. Do you feel safe in this stretch? Is your body giving you any signals, right? Then from here, push back and forth. Again, checking with your pain body, is there something you need to do to make yourself feel safer in this stretch? Do you need to put something under your foot? Do you need to turn your toe under? Do you need to bring your knee further away from the wall? What do you need to do? And then if you feel good, go ahead into those emotions. Feel the stretch. Feel how your body feels in the stretch. And let go bit by bit. Every time, just clean a little bit more. Just a little more clean, right? Every time, think of your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is pumping blood through your body, right? You've got this constant cleansing system that's happening naturally in your body all the time. We can do that with our emotions too, so just let it go. One by one, just clean it up and clean it up. Find your heartbeat, right? Oh, it's so itchy. Okay, then bring your hands to the ground and let's switch. Your left leg up, your right leg in front. And again, push in opposite directions. So your back leg will push into the wall, your front leg's gonna push forward, and you just go back and forth. So my front leg is pushing me into the stretch, and my back leg is pushing me forward. And you're just going back and forth. Nice and simple, easy. Check in with your pain body. Do you need to change anything? Do you need to get out of the stretch? Right? Is it okay? Are you safe? Figure that out. Figure out what works for you. And then put your attention on your emotions. What's different? What's still there? What's left? What can you clean up? Is there an image that comes to your mind when you do this stretch? Or when I say, like, how do you feel? Do you get an emotion? Do you get a picture? Do you get a feeling? Do you get a memory? Can you let go of that memory? Can you choose to let go of the attachment to that memory or the attachment to the feeling of that memory? You don't have to let go of the memory per se, but maybe you let go of the fact that you feel angry about it, or you feel sad about it, or whatever more complicated emotion that you have, right? Could be anything. Body's a funny, funny thing, right? Very, very funny thing. All right, let's go into a stretch for the front of your shoulders now. Now I want to continue in this feeling of heart opening, and we're going to go into some like spinal extension. So let's go into a reverse table. Bring your hands behind you, your feet in front of you. Your fingers are going to point towards your feet and curl in for your strength training. So curl up into a ball, like you're going to curl into a fetal position, like you're going to be as small as you can. And then push with your hands to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Bring your head back. Find the stretch to the front of your shoulders and your neck, and then come back in. Number one, check in with your pain body. Are you okay here? Do you need to change anything? If you do, change it. Do what you need to do. Do you need to move your hands? Do you need to change so that your fingers are pointing the other direction? Do you want to open your arms up a little wider? Do what feels good, because it's your body. It's your body. And then as you go into the stretch, what are the emotions involved in this stretch? Like I feel a little fearful, a little weak, a little restricted in this stretch. Now that's a physical feeling, yes, but is it really? I mean, when it comes down to it, is it my actual physical limitation that's holding me back? Like I stop here. Usually I can go further. You know this about me if you guys have seen me before. But for today, for some reason, I feel a little more vulnerable. This feels a little scary, a little like too vulnerable for me today. So what I want to do in this stretch is say, okay, if I feel this vulnerability, I'm going to accept it and I'm going to work within it. And every time I go into the stretch, I'm going to face that feeling and work within it. So I can accept it. I can accept it for what it is. I'm not going to push past it. I'm not going to push myself into a place where I feel uncomfortable. I'm going to go into a place where I feel safe and close it up. We're going to come back to the stretch, mainly because I need to, but also because you guys probably do too. It's good for us. This stretch is important for us going forward into our camel pose, okay? So we'll work on it, removing the barriers that are blocking us from this and see what happens, okay? The next stretch we're going to do is for the back of your shoulders. So bring your right arm across your body and grab your wrist with your left hand. Resist like you're pulling both arms diagonally apart. You push up for strength. You're going to keep pushing up like this and pull down for your stretch. And as you pull into the stretch, just come across your body. So you're coming across to the left side. You should feel the back of your shoulder on the left, and then bring your head to the right. Wait a second. You should feel the back of your shoulder on the right, bring your head to the left. Okay? And then up for strength. Check in with your pain body. Make sure that you're okay in this stretch. If there's something you need to change, change it. Do you need to sit a different way? Do you need to stand up? Right? Do you need to move in a smaller range of motion? Check in with your pain body and make the appropriate changes that you need. I mean, another thing you could do when you check in with your pain body is just ask yourself, like, am I too hot? Do I need to open a window? Am I too cold? Do I need to put on a sweater? I mean, there's certain things that just crack me up. Like one day I was really focusing on this whole method of like pain body, emotional body, letting go, right? And I was carrying groceries. I live on the top floor of an apartment building, so I'm carrying all my groceries because I'm not making 2 trips. I'm carrying everything up the stairs, and I needed to unlock the door. And I'm fumbling and fumbling, trying to get my keys and trying to unlock the door. And I finally just said, like, I checked in with my pain body, and I was like, I'm causing myself physical pain because I don't want to put the groceries down. And my whole purpose in life right now is just to open the door. Like, that's all I need to do. It's like the only thing in the present moment that I needed to do is get my keys out and open the stinking door. And I was so wrapped up in this idea of like not putting the groceries down, getting in the door, and I was wrapped up in my own world. Finally, I just put all the groceries down, unlocked the door, and it released all the tension and the frustration and the stress of just going up the stinking stairs. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You just put the groceries down, right? What do you need to do to make this stretch better for you right now? What can you do? It's just as simple as just put the groceries down, you know? What is it? And then check in with your emotions. What emotion are you feeling right now? How is that emotion blocking you from really enjoying the stretch at this very moment in time? Can you find a way to work within that emotion? Can you find a way to let it go? Every stretch, you just clean up a little bit more. What's so interesting about these stretches, you guys, is that as we're unlocking things, you're releasing tension that maybe has been there for a very long time. When you release that tension, it's gone forever. What's gone is gone. It doesn't come back. So even if you just let go of like 1% of that tension, 1% of that negative emotion, what's gone is gone. It's gone forever. Just let it go, right? You have other stuff to deal with, right? You can worry about other things, that's for sure, right? Okay, so now bring your left arm across your body, grab your wrist with your right hand, push up for strength. Continue resisting up while you pull down for your stretch. You're going to pull this time to the right. Bring your head to the right. Check in with your pain body. If you need to fix anything, do it. If you need to put the groceries down, do it. Whatever needs to happen. You've got one job right now. It's to make this stretch as awesome as possible. How can you do that? Do you need to completely remodel your entire house to make a yoga space? Put the video on pause, remodel the house, put it back on, right? Make this stretch the best stretch it can possibly be for you. And if you have an emotion attached to this stretch, you can listen to it now. See if you can find that emotion. Feel it. Really honor it. Decide what to do with it. And if you want to let go of just a little bit, that would be okay. Even if you just let go of 1%, even if you let go of 20%, even if you can let go of it in entirety, do what feels good to you, okay? You guys keep going. I'm going to read the chat. Someone wrote something really big. I unlocked a door. Oh, that's good. I also don't know about the day drinking thing. You probably shouldn't drink and stretch, just saying. It could go bad. All right, so now that we stretched out the back of our shoulders, let's work again on a different part of our shoulders. So instead of up here at the traps, we're going to go down here to the bottom. Bring your right arm up and grab your elbow with your left hand. I would swap that. So right arm up, elbow with your left hand. Resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. Push open for strength, so you're pushing over to the side here and pull across for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. So find the stretch in the back of your shoulder. See how this feels for you. Check in with your pain body. Does your pain body feel good? Can you improve the stretch in some way? Like, how does that work? How does that work for you? And then find the emotion attached to the stretch. If you can let it go, go for it. If you can let go of a little bit, you can. And remember that what's past is past, what's gone is gone. So as you pull this tension out, it's gone. It's not coming back. Find that stretch in the best way possible. Enjoy the stretch, let go bit by bit. Each stretch you just clean up a little bit more. Out for strength and across for your stretch. And now we'll go into our other side. So bring your left arm up, grab your elbow with your right hand, resist like you're pulling both arms apart. Push open for strength and pull across for your stretch. Find the back of your shoulder in that stretch, right back through here. See how that feels for you. Check in with your pain body. Do you need to improve the stretch? Do you need to improve something about your situation so that the stretch is good, so that the present moment is good for you? What does that mean for you? So good. Now find the emotion attached to the stretch. Key in your feelings right now. Like really feel it in your heart. What does that emotion feel like for you? And can you very slowly and bit by bit clean it up? Every time you go into the stretch, just let a little bit go. Just a little bit. And maybe a little bit more this time. And maybe you let go of a little bit more this time. And remember that what's gone is gone. So as you release that tension, it's not there anymore. Holy cow, these stretches are intense today. That is like, whew, burden. I'm letting go of all sorts of stuff. It's so great. Okay, now we're going to go into a stretch for your chest, your pecs. We'll go against the wall for this one because we really want to focus on this idea, just opening wide. Or if you like this stretch, you can do it as a push-up on the floor if you already know it. Bring your arms really wide, your elbows out to the side, and you're going to very slowly drop into the stretch using the weight of your body as resistance. Find the stretch in the front of your shoulders and then push up for strength. Okay? Find the stretch in the way that feels the best to you, okay? Check in with your pain body. Is there something you need to do to improve this stretch? Do you need to bring your feet in closer, a little further away? What feels good? Do your wrists feel okay? Is everything all right? You just check in with your pain body. And then check in with your emotional body as well. What are the emotions attached to the stretch? Do you feel safe? Do you feel secure in this stretch? And can you clean it up just bit by bit, remembering that what's gone is gone. So as you drop into this stretch, you can let go, and then it's gone, and it's gone forever. Drop into the stretch, let it go, and it's gone forever. Even just that little piece that you've let go of. That's it. That's all we've got. Okay? Let's go. Okay, perfect. I think I just heard, sorry. I think there might be a cat around here. All right, for our next stretch, let's go into our hip flexors because we're really going to want to open up here so that we can get into that camel pose. So bring your right leg to the front, your left leg behind, and you're going to try to pull your front leg backwards while you try to pull your front leg or your back leg forward. So you're scissoring together with both legs. Then use your front leg to pull you forward. Find this stretch in the front of your hip here. And then use your back leg to pull you back. And you just go back and forth. So you're pulling forward into your stretch and back for your strength. Finding the stretch in your hip flexor. Check in with your pain body. Do you need to change anything to make the stretch feel better? Notice how that pain is manifesting. How does that pain feel for you? Where is it coming from? What is it telling you? Right? Is there a change you need to make right now in the present moment? Pain body is good for that, right? Then your emotional body. What emotions are you feeling here? Just go back and forth, right? Pulling forward into your stretch, pulling back for strength. A lot of the thing that we're working on today, I'm not saying this in a very poetic way, but to pull it all together, really, this is all about really being courageous enough to take the responsibility for who you are in the present moment, right? Have the courage to face whatever it is that your pain body and your emotional body are telling you. Have the courage to face that so that you can make the changes that you need to right now. And those changes might be that you need to let go of something. The change might be to accept that what's gone is gone, right? It's hard to do. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but since lockdown started, it has been like one loss after another for me. I've been going through a lot, and it's something that like I have to face. Like, okay, what's gone is gone. Life is new, right? What's gone is gone. Life is new, and every time it's like a cleansing. It's like cleaning the shampoo bottle. Put in the water, pour it out. Put in the water, pour it out. Keep releasing. Keep letting go. Have the courage to take responsibility for who you are right now and what your body's telling you, and to make the changes that need to happen. Now, take your left leg in the front, try to pull your leg back, try to pull your your right leg forward. So they're just resisting in opposite directions. Pull with your left leg to bring you into the stretch. Pull with your right leg to bring you back. And you just go back and forth, finding the stretch in your right hip, right in the front of your body. And you just go back and forth. Find the stretch in the best way that you can. That means listen to your pain body first. Do you need to change something? Do you need to do anything to make the stretch more comfortable for you? Right? Then approach your emotional body. What are you feeling right now in this stretch? What can you let go of? Recognize that every time you go into the stretch, whatever you let go of is gone. It's gone forever. Let go of it here. And then recognize that you now have the courage to take responsibility for who you are right now in this present moment, to do what's good for you, what's good for your body, to make changes as needed. You don't have to do anything just because I'm telling you to, right? You don't have to. All right, so before we go into camel pose one more time, I want to just stretch this guy again. So just for my own sake, bring your fingers behind you. You're sitting down in like a reverse table. Let your fingertips point towards your feet. You're gonna curl in for strength and then push through with your chest to bring your head back, open up. See if you can find a little bit more safety in this stretch than you had before. Maybe you can let go of a little bit more. Maybe it's easier to let go. Maybe you don't have to hold on so tight. I definitely don't feel as vulnerable, so that's good. Oh, and after you've done a couple of those, you can either stay there if you want, because it's very similar to our camel pose, or you can bring your feet behind you. So now what we're going to do is increase the range that we have here. Bring your fingers behind you to grab onto your heels. So I've got my thumbs pointing out and my fingers in, just like this. For strength training, I'm going to curl all the way in. So I'm going to curl my body up into a ball. Think of it like you're in a fetal position, right? You're all curled up. Then you're going to open up, and as you open up, flip your shoulders back, put your weight on your hands, kick your heel or your hips up, and come into this full pose. And then right back out of it right away. You don't want to stay there for too long, right? Because we want to always move and always resist. So find the stretch in the way that feels the best for you. Down for strength. And up for stretch. Opening your heart, taking responsibility for loving yourself, for letting go of the past, for letting go of the emotions that aren't serving you anymore. Oh, nice. And in that stretch, you can face yourself. You can face the real, true you, the strength that is you. It's good stuff. All right, my friends, I'm exhausted and it's 10 o'clock. So thank you for being here with me today. I'm really grateful for you guys. Thanks so much for all of you who have supported the channel. Remember that you can support me in the best way by subscribing. So click that little button in the corner if you haven't done so yet. We have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11, but tomorrow's class, I'm going to be at the allergist. So I'm hopeful that sometime today or tomorrow morning, I'll be able to film another class that I'll have on tomorrow. If not, just, if you're a daily stretching person, just go to some of my other videos and do one that you haven't done before, okay? Also, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9 a.m. So we'll be back on Thursday at 9 a.m. live, assuming that I, don't go into anaphylactic shock or something. I'm sure I won't. I'm sure it'll be fine. But, hopefully I'll get this breathing thing figured out. It's driving me crazy. For those of you who liked class today, give it a thumbs up. That helps me a ton because it puts us up in front of other people just like you who need to know about resistance stretching. And I want more people just like you, so do that. Also, if you feel like contributing to the channel, there's a link below. You can click on that and give me a financial contribution if you feel the need. You don't have to. I love giving this information out to everybody who needs it, okay? And don't forget to tell your friends. All right, friends, have a great day. I will see you on Thursday if you're a Thursday person. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.